Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Boyblue and Bigby. Today, we're talking about our favorite artists in comic books and manga. And I think we're doing five, right? We each picked five.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Cool. And before we get started, I'm Boyblue. This is my host, Bigby here.
Aloha, everybody. How's everybody's night or afternoon or morning, whenever y'all listening?
I hope
Write in
they're
the comment
good.
below.
Yeah.
Type in the comment below what your answer is, and we'll get back to you.
Exactly. Yeah. If it's bad, we'll be like, oh, I'm sorry.
Actually, I won't say sorry. Like,
Hmm.
well, that's unfortunate.
So, yeah, we can just kind of start here. I'm drinking some uh, pumpkin spice coffee. This is on sale because it's no longer the holiday season. So it tastes all
Like
right. It's not like I'm actually not really a pumpkin spice kind of guy, but like I said, it was cheap. So
that was like 4 months ago, dog.
I know.
October, pumpkin spice, and you're just buying that now
Yeah, it's
because it
on
was on
sale.
sale.
Yeah, it's cheap. Should get some.
No, thank you. I like my pumpkin spice in October like a normal person.
I like my pumpkin spice when it's not full price. Because I wouldn't want to pay for it at full price. I mean, I'm not really like I said, I'm not really a pumpkin spice kind of guy, but it was cheap, and I was like, yeah, why not?
It's cheap anyways at Winco, right?
But it's cheaper, cheaper.
I'm sorry, everybody.
Tangent.
A little pumpkin spice tangent going on right now.
So, do you want to? Are we doing like our favorite to least favorite? I mean, that sounds weird because they're our top five. Mine aren't
Yeah.
really in an order per se. I just wrote down like five people I think are good and worth a mention. That's the other thing. Five is so limiting. I was like, oh my gosh, I like so many.
Well, that's the thing with me. I'm like, well, the five, my top five are always the same people that I often reread. So that's why I'm like, oh, the top five is the artists that I like a
There you go.
part of the story, and I keep rereading it for a reason because the art complements the story and then the characters. It just makes sense to me to pick five.
Right.
I mean, you
I'm
could pick more. I mean, if it makes you feel better, but
actually making a last minute change. Okay, I'm good. I'm ready.
Watchmen.
Maybe.
Was it Dave Gibbons? Is that what it was? Right?
That's really creepy. That might have been what I put down.
I wonder why. Why is that though?
Well, we'll find out. So you want to go first? You want to name off a favorite?
Yeah, so one of my favorite artists comes at number 5, and he's worked a lot with Garth Ennis with and a bunch of other of his stuff like Preacher and what else? Sorry, I wrote it down. Wolverine Origins Deadpool, and it is Steve Dillon. He passed away, I want to say last year or maybe the year before last year, which was sad because he was in the middle of teaming up again with
For
the
Punisher.
Punisher.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like in the middle, and he just passed away. And they had someone come in and try to draw it like his in honor of him, and I was like, oh, that's so sad.
I want to say it was 2017, maybe.
Was it?
I could be wrong, but yeah, it was sad. I was sad when that
Yeah.
happened. That's a good
Yeah,
pick.
yeah. He's actually one of the main reasons I picked up the Punisher a long time ago because of his art.
Yeah, I remember when I read Ennis's Punisher. At first I was kind of bummed because like the covers, whoever does the covers for those, it's like so realistic and amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, it's gonna look like that inside, which is never the
He's
case.
on my list.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
And then I opened it up. I was like, oh, this. I'm not really sure about this art, but it really grew on me over like the 40 plus issues he drew on
It
that.
does. Yeah.
I actually really I think of Steve Dillon's art honestly when I think Punisher. It's really great.
Him
Like,
and the cover artist, which I'll mention later.
oh,
Those
there you
two
go.
are the pop one that pop in my head when I think of Frank Castle.
Yeah, like it. I realized every time there's a different artist on a issue, I was bummed. I was like, wait, bring back Steve Dillon.
Yeah, some of it does work, and other moments are like, ah, no. Like with the Civil War run, with the punch, those many artists that were walking in and out for that one. I guess it was the same artist. I just didn't like it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I wish they had Steve Dillon to do this. It would have been so much better.
Speaking of Steve Dillon and Ennis, have you read Preacher? I can't
I
remember.
have not.
I actually haven't either. Maybe that will be a Boy Blue and Bigby read Preacher.
Yeah,
Get somewhat offended.
well, it's funny because there's this character in there. I haven't watched it or anything, or because it's a show on TV now, AMC,
Mhm.
and in the comic books, and there's a character called Arseface, like Ass Face, and I'm
Yeah.
like, what? And a piece of me is intrigued by like, does this face, was he born with an ass face? Like what is this guy's story? And then I'm like, ah, if he sneezes, I'm 75% sure it's just poo coming out of his face. So
I mean, it's like it's Ennis and Vertigo, so I'm like
mhm.
99% sure it will push my comfort level, like my boundary. I'm like, what's happening?
I
But
don't know. I mean,
I've also been interested in it to be
yeah,
honest. Like, it's a pretty highly regarded series, but maybe we'll have to read that.
maybe we will. I mean, we did read Berserk, and that one like definitely for me
Push
like pushed
the
it and
envelope.
kicked the door and everything. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool.
That was a lot. It's a
Yeah,
lot.
it's pretty intense, but it like mellows out a little.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
Huh. Well, maybe I'll have to give it another shot.
yeah.
Um,
I gotten past you, and I'm like, okay, like book 15. All right.
but yeah, Steve Dillon. That's an
Yeah,
excellent choice. I don't know what it is. I mean, he just has an interesting style. It's
he does. Yeah,
kind of cartoony, but like it's still,
violent. It's pretty
yeah,
violent. The Punisher
exactly.
punches a bear in one of the issues. I'm like,
He
okay,
does.
I could dig this. So what's your turn, sir?
Yeah, let me look. Let me take a look here. I'll go with Sean Murphy for this one, and he's not. I don't know if he's like one of my favorite artists. Like, I think if you asked me, maybe he wouldn't make the list, but I don't know. I really like his art on Tokyo Ghost by Rick Remender. I have the complete collection from Image, and I mean it's a good story, but I feel
Mm.
like I have it primarily for Sean Murphy's art because it's a really big book. It's almost absolute size, and it just looks gorgeous in that format.
Mm.
I mean, his art in White Knight is great too. He wrote that one. He's starting to do, I think, more stuff where he writes and illustrates his own work. But his style is very unique. I don't really know how to describe it, but it's pretty to look at. It's kind of
It's
it's angular. It's kind of
yeah,
angular and sketchy.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's the best
Um,
way actually. I was thinking sketchy because it looks like he just like drew it and then he left it in there, but it works for his
yeah,
story,
and it's like
like for him.
it's very uniquely him. I think that's why I wanted to
Mhm.
like put him on the list. Like I think with a lot of superhero books, and I want to say especially DC, a lot of the time, I can't tell the difference between some artists. Like they're great artists, but they have like a
Mhm.
very all their style is like superhero style. Like it all kind of looks the same.
All bulky,
Yeah,
buff, like what is it? Glare muscle or what is it? No,
right.
oily muscle, even on the suit.
Mhm. But
Like
like
everything's all shiny.
Sean Murphy's art is so it's very unique. It's a very interesting look, and I don't know. I have another artist on here that I'll get to uh probably a couple from now who I also think is incredibly unique. But yeah, so Sean Murphy, and he's seems like a
He's
cool
really
guy.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
The first Sean Murphy anything I ever read was a Constantine book. I
Oh,
think it's like City of Demons or something. I have it somewhere. But
well, I think the first Sean Murphy thing I read was he did a few issues of American Vampire, and
oh, I
I love
mhm,
Raphael Albuquerque, and I think he's definitely the person to draw that book. But
mhm.
Sean Murphy made me question that a little bit. Like when I
Yeah.
got to those Sean Murphy issues, I was like, oh, wait a second.
What is this?
I wouldn't mind a Sean Murphy like spin-off series or something here. This is but
This is pretty
Albuquerque,
cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
Albuquerque's great too, but
Mhm.
made me question some things.
Yeah. That's probably the best response to anything. Like, oh yeah, this guy's great, but when I saw his artwork, it made me
Yeah,
question something. It made me question life.
I need to reread American Vampire. It was a good series.
It's a great series. I
Yeah.
think I just got to volume three. I
Mm.
need to get. I need to read four, five, and six.
I think I read up through 5, and then I need to keep going because it's great.
It is,
But
especially the
yeah,
Wild West.
yeah, because I think Sean Murphy he draws a lot of the Nazi vampires, if I remember
Yeah, he does.
correctly. Good stuff. Good stuff. Anyways, that's my first one. There it is.
Alright, so, my fourth one is because it's great. It's cartoony. It's amazing. I love it, and I'll always love it. And you recently got to volume five of this series.
Oh, there you go.
It is Ichiro Oda. He is the creator of One Piece, and his art is very simple, cartoony, and spectacular. Because his it's very uh kids teen oriented when it comes to like the first couple volumes. As the characters progress, he starts making them more voluptuous and well, they age basically, but the way he does it, it's like really cool. Like you hardly notice it at the same time. You still kind of see that they grown up as they progress through their
Through the series.
adventures.
Hmm.
Yeah.
One thing I've noticed, even in just these first 5 volumes, is he draws movement really well.
Mhm.
Like I feel like anytime Luffy uh like extends his arm or anything like that, there's like it he trying to think of what I'm trying to say. He draws the movement of his arm
Mhm.
well, which sounds weird because it's a still picture, but
It's
you
yeah,
you you get the idea that it's like it's going really
it's
fast. It's like
going far.
shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So he draws that well, and also like angles because he has to draw all
Mhm.
these weird angles for Luffy to like stretch and
Yeah.
do all that. So
And it
it
gets even crazier with his
yeah
art.
yeah
Yeah.
it seems simple, but I feel like
Mhm.
it's actually much harder than
Yeah.
I realized.
It's goofy. That's someone asked him one time, like, "Hey, how did you come up with the idea to making a um Luffy's powers? Like, did you just think like, oh, it's gonna be the strongest thing ever? Like, is that how you thought?" He's like, "No, I just thought, what is the most silliest power you can ever have, and how can you make it work?" He's like, "Oh, being a rubber man." And in this series, it works, and yet it is really incredible how he shows Luffy's abilities with his powers. Like, it's not as limited. Later on in the series, he finds new ways to up his game as he does it.
Hmm. Yeah, I was also looking at his paneling when I was reading today.
Mhm.
He does some interesting panels.
Mhm.
that I think maybe that I see more in Western comics than
Mhm.
manga. He does some interesting things where like they're not quite, even, and I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah. But yeah, definitely I feel like I'm appreciating his art more
Mhm.
this second time I've started it. I don't know why that is.
Because it's getting better, and I keep harassing you about it.
That might be.
Hey,
I also
One Piece this, One
I
Piece that.
think it also is helping. I'm reading it on my Kindle, so I can make it a little bit
Hmm.
bigger. So I'm finding myself like kind of looking at it more,
Hmm.
um, just because it's like there's
Yeah, and you
more
got that
space.
light.
Yeah,
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 the light in your Kindle
right.
just make it brighter and everything. Yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah, I could see that. I'm like when I read my books, I'm like light,
yeah.
get in the shadowy part, and then you got like this, fancy.
I know that's like one of the reasons I like digital reading. Like I'm
Hmm.
like, oh, I don't have to like turn
Yeah,
around
well,
all sorts of different ways to find light somewhere.
if I had known a long time ago that comics would have been able to get into a Kindle like this, like long ago, I would have saved so much money. Actually, no, really, that's not true. I probably would have wasted the same amount because it's a whole bunch of comic books just thrown in there.
It's true. There's still, I mean, there are definitely things I want to have,
Yeah,
physically. Just be like, I have it, which we might get to
yeah.
later on in the
I'm pretty
discussion.
sure, yeah, pretty sure we will. So yeah, that's all I got to say for the One Piece one. But don't forget, folks, it's not really all what we gotta say. There's a
That's true.
later episode
That's true.
called One
Exactly.
Piece for all. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
So my next one I have David Aha, who did a lot of Hawkeye with Matt Fraction. And I this is another one where his art looks incredibly simple,
Mhm.
but I feel like it's not. It's not at all. And I don't know what it is about his art. It's another one I think it's incredibly unique. Another person drawing a superhero book and it doesn't look like your typical superhero book. It has more of a indie
Spy,
feel.
yeah,
Yeah,
spy
like
movie feel. Right.
yeah, so and like people, I'm not the only person who ever said that run of Hawkeye feels more indie.
Mhm.
And I think people a lot of the time can say that, that's mostly Fraction. And I think that obviously his writing contributes, but I think I want to say it's mostly the art. The art just doesn't look like a superhero comic book to me. And it's not really your typical superhero comic book.
No.
It's its own thing. And I haven't read it in a little bit. I kind of want to reread it, but I remember when I first picked it up, I was totally obsessed with his art. And you loaned that to me, I think, initially.
Yeah,
I was like,
I
this
did.
is amazing. Amazing.
I'm
And
actually, I
also,
keep thinking, I'm like, yes,
yeah, his,
yes.
and his paneling is great too.
Mhm.
And I mean, there's all sorts of innovative stuff going on, like the issue with the dog, where like it's all from the
Lucky.
dog's
Yeah.
perspective, and like you can see what he's like smelling and thinking. Just really interesting stuff that he just does all on his own.
Mhm.
It's very good.
Yeah, he draws it, like you said, really, really well. Like everybody knows Hawkeye is not a superhero. Like he doesn't have a serum. He's not like Iron Man or Spider-Man. He's just a normal guy with a really amazing talent of not missing. And he draws that perfectly because there's this car chase scene where I love in the comic because he's just like he's telling her talking to the other Kate Bishop, the other Hawkeye, like, oh yeah, get me this arrow, get me this one, get that one. She's like, which one? And it's like I gotta learn to tape, like have them like
That's right.
tape them down. Yeah, like with
Label
the
them. Yeah.
yeah, thank you, label. And I'm like, oh my God, this is exactly how I would envision what's his name, Jeremy Renner, if he had his own movie doing that nonsense.
Right. Yeah. Not having the foresight to just
Yeah.
label his many arrows. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good run. That's a really good run. And I mean, once again, like I think Fraction did an amazing job, but
Mhm.
Jeff Lemire took over Hawkeye right after. And I think if David Aja had stayed on the book, it would have felt more cohesive. But I
Mhm.
mean, they had another artist, and it was fine. It's fine, but it feels
Don't
like
you?
someone
Yeah.
trying to do David Aja, and maybe I'm
Yeah.
wrong there, but it's kind of it's a similar kind of unique look type thing,
Mhm.
but all the while I'm reading it, I'm just wishing that
It was the original.
it was the original. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I don't like when they do that. Like I'll be so comfortable reading someone's the author and then the artist as they would be paired really well together, and then out of nowhere it just like changes to someone else, and then you're like, what the expletive deleted happened here? It can't. What is going on? It
well,
happened to me like so many times in my lifetime.
I think the good thing is I think Fraction told the story he wanted to. Like
Mhm.
it felt like it wrapped up. Um, I just wanted more of that David Aja art. And
Yeah.
I know he's not writing. He's doing the art for a new series called Seeds. I want to say it's maybe Dark Horse, and I don't think I don't remember who the writer is. I'm not sure if I've heard of them, but I saw he was doing the art, and I was like, I'm probably gonna buy that.
Yeah.
It's, at some point,
Add
like
to cart.
yeah, like because it's I don't know anything about it, but I've been missing his art. I haven't seen it in a
Yeah.
while. I'm like, what have you been working on, man? Let's get
He's
some
like,
new
oh,
stuff. He's like, I've been
uh,
on vacation with my wife.
we're trying to get a kid soon, and you're like, come on,
No, come on,
get this
let's
stuff. You say no.
let's
Like,
draw
no,
some
man,
stuff.
get a dog. That's better. Uh, so the next, right? Your
Yeah,
copacetic
yeah.
there? Okay. So the next one we talk about a lot. He's always teamed up with the amazing Ed Brubaker. He is Sean Phillips. He is phenomenal with everything he draws. Every story him and Ed Brubaker do together is just knockout with his phenomenal, amazing. I can't use any more adjectives because I think I'll use the whole dictionary artwork. And he's done Fade Out, Sleeper, Criminal, such and such. Anything with Ed Brubaker, there's a 100% chance he teamed up with Sean Phillips, basically. So,
Yeah, I was gonna say it's easier to think of things not team up. The
yeah,
only one that comes to mind is Velvet is with Steve Epting. That's the only
yeah,
one I can think of. Basically, everything else is Sean Phillips, and he would have been on my list, but I knew he was going to be on your
yep,
list, so I just didn't bother because he's the man. Sean
he
Phillips is the
is.
man. Honestly, I wish like he just drew every crime book. I mean, he kind
That
of
would be
does. He kind
phenomenal.
of
Like
does draw every
everybody's,
crime book.
yeah.
Yeah,
I My dream is to have him draw a noir-esque style Punisher,
that'd
like
be great.
not the Punisher noir, little miniseries that Marvel did, like a full-on story arc, which would be phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine an Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillips Punisher?
It would be
It would
fantastic, man.
be it would just be like a hard hitting crime book. And
Yeah.
if they were allowed to do anything, man,
Oh, that would
one
be
can dream.
spectacular.
One can dream. That would be man. I never even considered that, but now that you put it in my head,
Yeah,
that's all I want now.
that's all I need. Like
Yeah.
in this lifetime, like yeah, come on guys, Marvel. Listen to this. We know what people want.
Because
Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillips, Punisher.
yeah, I'm just trying to think. I mean, his Punisher would be so just real looking. I mean, all of his drawings
Yeah,
are so real. It'd be brutal.
yeah. It would be brutal. It'd be
I,
like Fade Out,
yeah.
but with Punisher style.
I forget. Have you read Kill or Be Killed yet?
I have not.
You should read at least the first issue because it starts off with quite a bit of violence, and I was like, "Oh, Sean Murphy drawing the violent stuff. He can do it. He can do it for sure.
You can do it.
It would be great." I mean, Killer Be Killed is like the closest thing to a Punisher book like they've done for sure. Yeah, you should check it out. You should check it out until until our dreams come true.
Oh, Marvel's gonna get so much emails, pen mail, what is it, letters and all that stuff. I'm gonna start sending them all over. Like, we want the public spoken.
Is Brubaker doing any work for Marvel or DC? I think he's, or is he exclusively just pumping out ideas for Image right now? Because I know he had some contract, I think, where Image just basically told him they'll like publish anything he wants, and I mean that's a pretty good deal.
That's probably like the best deal.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want. It's okay. We still love you.
I mean, they just relaunched Criminal again, so there's that.
And I think the other day I was at Barnes and Noble and I saw that they had a reprint of paperback of Fade Out.
Yeah,
and I was like, hardcover's better.
There we go. Good, good.
So maybe if they do an absolute edition of that, which I doubt because it's Image, right?
Yeah, they wouldn't. They don't. Yeah.
So no. Okay, I can dream, can I?
Such a good series. Such a good writer and artist team.
Maybe they're like best friends in like real life, man. That'd be like.
I mean, I feel like you kind of have to be at this point. I mean, they've been doing everything together.
Everything.
Yeah. Except for Velvet, which was drawn by Steve Epting, who's also a great artist, I have to say. Yeah, Steve Epting is pretty amazing.
No.
Sorry.
I'm going to boycott. I'm going to boycott that now. Forget that series. It never happened.
Did Steve Epting do some of Brubaker's Captain America? I want to say yes.
Excellent question.
Which I still need to read. I need to read that.
You do. You really do.
And I need to use my Marvel Unlimited and just read all of it.
Yeah, man. Go for it. You cannot go wrong with this this amazing series by Ed Brubaker. Let's see. I feel like he's betraying them by doing other stuff with them. No.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Not at all? In the entire run? Wow.
Or at least not in this one. I mean, there's a whole bunch of other Ed Brubaker, Captain America out there, but
his run was really long.
Yeah. But it was really great.
Yeah, I'm not really finding anything.
Yeah.
I'm sure I feel like he did, but maybe wrong. Anyways, my next pick, and continuing with the theme of unique artists, I'm going to go with Nick Dragata for East of West. I feel like his art, I don't even know the influences for him. I think maybe some manga or anime, but it's so his own thing. I don't even know how to describe his art, but I love it in East of West. It's so good. It's like kind of cartoony, but also not at the same time.
It's like adult cartoon, not like children's cartoon. Like it's something like if Adult Swim decided to produce the cartoon show. That's what it feels like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like, I don't know. He just draws. I think all of his designs for the characters in that series are fantastic. Like Death and the other, what is like War and Famine and something else.
War, famine, pestilence.
Yeah, is that right? Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah.
Something like that. And oh, is it Conquest? I think that's what they name him. War, Famine, and
Conquest.
Conquest. Maybe I can't remember. I need to reread that too, but I'm still waiting for that third hardcover. Anyways, East of West is a great series, but Nick Dragata, I feel like I can't see anyone else drawing that series because his like I said, his designs are so unique. It really just brings it to life. So yeah,
They do.
also shout out
It's
to
amazing.
whoever does the colors, which I used to know his name because the colors in East of West are also great. They're very vibrant.
Yeah, for a dark book about revenge and everything. It's really, really pretty.
Yeah, exactly.
Really bright. Yeah. Like, oh, he just killed the guy, but the blood,
It's so
so
bright.
elegant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to look up the colorist because I feel like he's worth a mention. Let's see. Frank Martin. So there you go, Frank Martin. I like your colors.
Like, oh, hey, that guy, Boy Blue, said he liked my colors.
I cannot wait until that third hardcover eventually comes out because.
So the third paperback is out. It's just not the hardcover, or is it just not out
So
at all yet?
the hardcovers collect 3 volumes, and there are 8 volumes out. So you could read further than I am. But once that 9th volume comes out, hopefully they will get the third hardcover out pretty soon. I mean, if things go on schedule, Hickman has said that the series will end in 2019. So
yeah, so later this year.
Yeah, but I mean, the hardcover I would expect probably not till 2020. Yeah, so still waiting. But I mean, it's one of those series where I don't want, like, I could read further on Hoopla and then or just keep up with the issues, but I kind of want to wait till it's out and then read it all just in a row, start over.
Binge read.
Just all 40 issues or whatever. Yeah.
40 issues? That's child's play when you're binge reading One Piece.
That's true. It's funny. It's like because I'm trying to do like a chapter a day, and a lot of time I end up doing more. But the chapters fly by. Like one chapter really isn't that much, but like I don't know. It's just like, oh, I guess I'm done. I'll read another one.
And there's a bunch of fighting too, so it's just like, oh, no talking, sweet action.
Just look at the pictures. All right, so is this your fourth one?
Second. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, I guess I'm going.
Yeah.
4 or 2. So I brought him up before because he is a great cover artist. He's done a lot for the Punisher, and he's done a few for like other characters too, but Punisher's primarily why I dig it. His name is Tim Bradstreet.
Ah, see, I didn't actually know that.
Yeah. Tim Bradstreet is amazing.
He is amazing.
Yeah, his art, when you guys you don't even have to go buy a comic book, just go into a comic book store, ask him, hey, do you have any Punisher Max series? And they'll point you in the direction, and you'll see the most amazing Punisher cover art in the entire world, and it's really, really epic because it looks so real.
It does, and I think I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I mean, he did a lot of the covers for the NS Marvel Knight series also, and then when the Max series started, he did those. So he's just he's drawn the Punisher a lot, a lot of ways.
Yeah, he has.
Like, you've probably seen his art, I mean, I feel like they're like posters of his stuff, like
they actually are, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not in here, but in general.
Yeah. Yeah, he's incredible. I didn't know his name, but it's incredible. I mean, like I said earlier, I learned to, I did not learn, but I ended up really loving Steve Dillon's art. But if Tim Bradstreet ever did all of the interior art for a Punisher book, I would lose my mind. That would be pretty amazing.
It would be amazing. Now this would be to me a perfect combination of Ed Brubaker writing, Sean Phillips doing the art, and then
And then
Tim Bradstreet doing the cover art.
we got to make it happen.
Yeah. But a funny story about Tim Bradstreet. I met him a long time ago at a Comic-Con,
Oh.
and I knew who he was, and like I was like, oh my God, it's Tim Bradstreet. I was with one of my sisters, and I was like, that's the guy who does the cover art for the Punisher. And at this point, I was still barely getting into the whole Comic-Con circuit, where like, oh yeah, you could bring your own stuff to get it like signed and
Hmm.
whatnot. Like you could bring your own like comic books and whatnot to bring in to have them sign it. And I had a notebook, this little brown leaf lit kind of notebook thing I had with me. And I was like, oh my God, that's Tim Bradstreet. I'm gonna go get his autograph. But I, I, I would have been like, I just told him when I met him, like, oh my God, your cover art is great. I have most of the books because of your cover art. And I'm pretty sure like I fumbled my words because I kid you not, I cannot talk to that man for like the life of me. Like if you had a gun to my head and say, "Hey, talk to this guy," I'd be like, uh Bradstreet." And my sister was like having just a regular conversation with him, and I was like, Punisher, good. And so I got his autograph, and he even drew like the little Punisher skull in there too. I was like, oh my God, I got the Punisher skull drawn in my notebook by Tim Mother expletive deleted Bradstreet. And yeah, that was like one of my proudest nerd moments was meeting him, but not being able to talk to him. Kind of sucked because I would have had a whole bunch of questions. But
That's awesome. I mean, I'm
yeah,
laughing at you, but I'm the exact same way. Like,
yeah.
most recently, I mean, I saw Mitch Gerrard's at a comic book store, and I just like stared at him and his beard, and then I
you
left.
just you just stared at him.
Yeah, I just stared at him, and I was like, "Oh, that's Mitch Gerrard's." And my wife was like, "You should go talk to him." I was like, "No, it's okay." I just left sadly. And like for all of, in college doing like music stuff, you know, sometimes we'd be opening for like, I'm gonna put quotes up, but a famous jazz musician. And I
Mhm.
put the quotes because if you don't know jazz, they just look like that's some person. But
Mhm.
if you know jazz, you're like, oh my gosh, that's, you know, whoever. And that's the same way. They like, we'd have like a meet and greet or whatever with them after the show, and I'd have friends like talking to them. But I mean, I never know what to say. I'm just like, oh, your music is cool. You know, like I don't know what
I
to say.
like it.
So I just like would be like kind of stand there and then get sad and leave.
Like, is that guy all right over there? Is Boy Blue all right over there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
Why is
pretty
he
much my,
standing in the corner? Like,
yeah, my interactions were, I was like, oh, they're here. I see them.
yeah.
They seem nice. I'm gonna walk away now. I'm gonna
Yeah.
leave.
Like, I love you. Like walk away.
Yeah. So yeah,
Uh,
I get it. I'm the same way.
yeah.
Because I don't know what to say. I mean, if I with
Yeah.
Mitch Gerrard's, I'm like, I think you draw stuff real good. You know, like he'd be like, okay, cool, thanks, man.
Like, oh, I mean, it is kind of hard too. Like there's a good chance they heard what you told them before, but from other
Oh
people.
yeah,
Like, oh
for
yeah.
sure.
So you're trying to be like all cool and unique, like, hey yo, or like if you try to come off being off like all cool, like, oh yeah, I read your stuff, it was alright. They'll be like, don't talk to me, you weirdo. If you thought my stuff was all right, and get out of
Or
here.
yeah, exactly. Or if you try to be like, I really like how you use like this kind of blah 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 blah. Like if you like research their like
Life story and
their
everything. Yeah.
process, they'd be like, okay, why are you like trying too hard, man?
Yeah.
So I just don't try at all. I just stare at them and leave.
You're just like you're like what's that one video of Mark Ruffalo when he sees what's the name? Paul Rudd. He's like, Paul Rudd. And he's just like as he's walking by, he's just like staring at him.
I
Doesn't
mean,
say anything, just like
yeah, I haven't been to a con actually. I mean, because I think it would be a nightmare for me. I'd meet like if I met like Ed Brubaker, same thing.
Mhm.
Like I think your stories are cool. You know, he doesn't care.
Yeah.
Ed Brubaker doesn't
Yeah.
care. He meets like tons of people who thinks this stuff
Like
is
say the
cool.
same thing. Just be
Yeah.
like, you're the reason why I got into my job. Like, okay. Like, what are you, detective? No, I write menus at a restaurant. Oh,
Oh,
people
okay,
see it
okay.
too. Yeah. Like when you're at a con, it's like always cool because you see everybody dressed up like their favorite characters,
That's true.
and they all love the same stuff you do. And then when you meet someone like like a celebrity, and you're like, oh my God, it's that person. He's so cool. Like another one I met, Bruce Campbell, one of my favorite actors of all time, and he was in the Evil Dead trilogy and Spider-Man trilogy. The only guy who actually defeated Peter Parker twice. It's Spider-Man 2 and 3.
Hmm.
He was the waiter in Spider-Man 3, and he was the usher in Spider-Man 2. He denied Spider-Man the enter into the theater, so that count as a defeat.
Huh, makes sense.
Yeah. And when I met him, I was with my my fiance, and I told her, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm really sorry. You're gonna see me nerd out and probably squeal like a little girl because this is Bruce Campbell. Because she was with me in line, and so yeah, I was like, oh my God, you're really amazing. Like you're so cool. I love the Evil Dead, and I had like a really girly moment, which kind of sucks. I couldn't take my picture with him. He said
Oh,
no
that's
photos, just autographs. So like okay.
too
So it was just like,
bad.
some people can be cool, like him and Sam Witwer and Manu Bennett. Like they were all cool people when you meet them. But again, like they hear this stuff all the time. Sometimes they're like, oh, thank you. Like they're so polite and kind, and then
Yeah, I
they're
mean, I feel like
yeah,
that's the best you can hope for, that they're just like polite to you.
yeah,
Like there's like,
yeah,
yeah, thanks. But the next guy in line is gonna say the same thing as you.
yeah,
Like the person before you said the same thing as
yeah.
you. They all, yeah,
So you got
nothing
to come up with
unique.
a game plan. Yeah, you got to come up with a game plan. Switch it up. Like, oh yeah, you were awesome in Batman. I wasn't in Batman. You were in this movie, man. Then you come off like Psycho, and
See, what I should do is I should draw really poorly and just be like, oh,
then
can you take a look at my art? It's just
yeah,
like stick figures. They'll be like, it's really good. Keep working at
they,
it.
if you go up to Sean Phillips and do that, I would like die laughing if he says, "This is terrible. Get out of my sight. Don't ever talk to me again."
I mean, he might. I don't know. He seems like a
Yeah.
nice guy. Hopefully, he'd encourage my young
Oh yeah.
talent.
Go kid, go ahead. Here's a pen.
But he like refuses to sign
Yeah.
anything.
He
He's like,
just
no, no,
gives
no.
you the pen. Yeah.
Here's a pen. Keep working.
Yeah. Uh,
All right. So, my next one, and this might be shocking, but I'm gonna go with Takahiko Inoue from Vagabond, and we've
oh,
talked
that's not
about
shocking. Yeah.
Vagabond a lot. Um, I wasn't. He's not quite the number one spot, but he could be. I mean, he's
Mhm.
really it's amazing. We've talked about his art.
Yeah.
It's incredible,
Two
and
episodes ago we did,
yeah. So check that out. Check out Vagabond.
which explains
Great
why
manga.
it takes so long for his stuff to come
Yeah,
out because
it's
very
true.
detailed.
It's true.
Like the stick, still detailed. Like he loves his work. Like he gives you the absolute best that he can give, and that's incredibly beautiful and
Hmm.
amazing. Yeah. And
Yeah. So what's your number one? I think I know who it is.
my number one is the dramatic effect drumroll. Fiona Staples.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was like, I haven't seen her yet on
Yeah,
your list. Yeah,
yeah, she's number one, man.
yeah,
She's did Saga, North 40, and Mystery Society.
and Archie with Mark Wade.
Oh, now I gotta read
Yeah,
Archie.
you should check out Mark Wade's
Gotta get
Archie.
back on Archie. Yeah, it's funny because I did not know she did Saga when I read her first two books that I introduced me to her, which was North 40 and Mystery Society, which I thought, wow, this art is really freaking phenomenal and amazing and great and really stunning. And it works for the story that was being told for those two books. Like one of them was science fiction. Well, they're both like science fiction
Hmm.
and mixed with a little horror. And I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. That's probably the main reason why I bought those books were because the art in it and the story was just like just as great. So she's a great artist.
She is, and she's another artist who I think is like incredibly unique.
Mhm.
Her style, and yeah, Saga's art is just fantastic. I
Mhm.
mean, I feel like there's some rare people out there who don't like Saga, and I think that's weird. But even if you don't
What?
like, yeah, if you don't like the writing, you have to at least like we can all
Who
agree
who are these people?
they're
I
out
will
there.
find
They're out there. I feel
who.
like there's always anytime there's a popular series, there's pushback. You know, people are like, "Oh, it's not that good," you know, because they've heard everyone recommend it.
Mhm.
But I mean, there's a reason everyone recommends it because
Yeah, because it's amazing.
it's amazing. Yeah. Although I need to catch up.
You do,
I need to
man.
sit down and read it.
Yeah, I gotta wait for book 3 on hardcover.
That's
Come
coming
out
out.
the
I
first
think it's
two. Is
May.
it?
Yeah, I think
Nice.
it's you won't have to wait very long.
Yeah, I hope not, because I'm like I gotta catch up myself, because I got those first two on hardcovers now. I'm like yes, just gotta keep waiting.
Exactly.
It's the
Yeah.
waiting game.
Fiona Staples is her character designs are amazing too.
Mhm.
I mean, when I was talking about East of West and I can't imagine anyone else doing it, the only person I could see doing it other than Nick Dragata is Fiona Staples. Just because both their styles are so unique and
Mhm.
bright. I mean, once again, I mean Nick Dragata is not doing his colors, but like
Mhm.
she does her colors, I think. So I could see her like doing that series.
She would knock that series out of the park.
Yeah,
Like with her art, I'm like, oh, it would be so incredible.
it
They
would
should
be
have her
incredible.
do a Zantana, or at least a Seven Soldiers of Victory art.
Fiona Staples on Zatanna
Yeah.
would be awesome. That's another good like random wish list. Like, so who would you pair a writer with that?
With Zantana, Gail Simone.
Oh, interesting. Okay, Gail Simone, Fiona
Yeah.
Staples, Zatanna. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Trying to
Who
think of
would
who
you?
I would. Yeah. Um, I don't know. Tom King. No.
Tom King.
No, I don't think that would work.
Silly. No.
Yeah, I don't think that would work.
No.
Man, I don't know. I don't know who I'd pair that with.
It'll start off strong and then the ending would fall
What?
flat.
No, actually, I actually do have one. Greg Rucka.
Greg Rucka?
Yeah, Greg Rucka writing Zatanna would be great.
Yeah, I could see it.
It would be great.
Yeah, yeah, I could see it. You just like you pause for a second. I'm like, did it freeze? Because your face did not move at all. Like,
I was
let him.
expecting more of a reaction from you. I thought you were gonna be like, "Oh, it would be great," and I'm like,
that,
but you're just like, "Yeah, okay, sure,
yeah,
fine."
yeah. I mean, come on. It would be great.
It'd
It
be,
would be.
oh, there we go.
It'll be amazing.
That's much better.
Those two paired together. They should get married. Is that what you wanted?
Yeah, perfect. All right, so my number one, you've been kind of alluding to it, is Mr. Dave Gibbons.
I figured
And
it's
and I
because I
think I think if I had made this list maybe a week ago, or I wouldn't have had him because I would have forgotten. But I did pick up the absolute edition of Watchmen. I can stare at his art in the biggest format possible, and gosh darn it, I have so much nostalgia. I'm like, because I remember reading that, and I just was like, wow, someone was drawing like this, like one that well, but also in like 1985 or something. I was like, this guy is amazing. And I'm just looking at it again. I'm like, he's still amazing. I mean, like, you can't take that away from him. Um, he's like drawn some stuff, some Green Lantern stuff that I've read, and it's interesting. Once again, going back to the colors. I mean, obviously his art is great, but the Green Lantern thing is so bright. It's like Green Lanterns from the early 2000s. It's the colors are so bright that I almost forget it's Dave Gibbons because I'm so used to like the really muted colors of Watchmen and kind of like that older look.
style. Yeah,
Um, but he's incredibly talented, and just looking at him, like, man, you're you're great, you're a great artist.
yeah,
So
yeah.
perfect
He
for
is.
that book. I mean,
He's the only one. Like if you talk about like we just talked about like who would taken over with Jonathan Hickman for East of West, and we said Fiona Staples would have done a pretty good job. This guy and Watchmen and Alan Moore are like connected. Like
mm-hmm.
there's some things you don't mess with, and that's like a fixed point in comics. Like you do not mess
Yeah,
with that at all. Don't
exactly.
mess with the formula, which is why DC should not have done Doomsday Clock.
I knew this was coming.
God, it's so disappointed. It's like the worst thing
Yeah, no,
ever
it
to
was a
me.
bad decision. I'm not
Yeah.
for it. I'm also, I'm very tentative about this whole HBO show taking place
Yeah.
after Watchmen. It's like, ugh.
Like why? Why
but
call it Watchmen?
but yeah, Dave Gibbons. And the thing is, like, looking at his panels, Watchmen pretty much. Oops, I hit my microphone. Watchmen pretty much sticks to that 9-panel grid. I mean, occasionally he'll combine 2 panels, so it's actually 8 panels, but it still fits that grid.
Yeah.
So if you're reading it in a comic book or a paperback, the normal size, those panels get pretty small. If you're reading it digitally, they're going to get even smaller unless you're reading on like an iPad. So just seeing that like bigger and seeing the detail in those panels, I'm like, wow, he's like doing the work.
This
So
is him basically telling you go buy the absolute edition right now.
I don't know. I don't
That's
know
what
if
he's
you need to
saying.
be that crazy, but you should. I feel like you should experience at least the deluxe edition, because that's like it's bigger. It's like as big as like the Captain America Omni you held up. I mean, not thickness, but I mean
Yeah.
size wise. Like I feel like everyone should read it at least at that level. That's like a normal level. The absolute, that's maybe
That's beyond the
that's
next
beyond
level.
normal. I know it's not normal. But I
Oh
mean, if you
yeah.
can get it and you want it,
If you have the money, I mean, if
yeah.
it's right there, just go for it.
I mean,
CDC,
I would never recommend, like, if you haven't read Watchmen and you're like, I'm just gonna get the absolute. I would never recommend that, because if you don't like the story, then you have an absolute that you don't want. But if you've read it and you like it,
I mean, what if
there's
they
no
haven't
better
read
way.
it and they bought it and they're like, you know what? I I don't regret this.
Well, that's good too.
Yeah.
That's
I
a
mean,
good.
I don't think I ever heard anybody say anything bad about this particular story and
No,
art by
I feel like it's pretty universally loved. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
I've seen some people say that they think it's overrated, and it hurts me. But
yeah. They
like
might as well
it
just
makes
go.
me physically ill. No.
You just got really pale just
Yeah,
now when you said that.
exactly. Yeah. Just even thinking about it.
Uh,
Do you have any runner-ups, or you're all done?
oh, I do have. I wrote down some runner-ups on
Nice.
here.
Shoot
Yeah,
him. Shoot him out.
Mike Mignola, Hellboy,
Yeah, see,
always
exactly.
superb. Yeah,
Yep.
Kira Toriyama, Dragon Ball Z. His stuff
Nice.
was amazing. Um, Dave Gibbons was on my. I
Runner
don't know why I put that on there because I knew you were gonna bring him
up.
up. Now this one, Ben Templesmith. He's done the Squibbles, Wormwood, the Gentleman Corpse, Fell, the 10 grand. 10 grand is the one that kind of ticked me off because he did the art for it, and then out of nowhere they like switched it
Hmm.
with a different artist, which threw me off, and I didn't like it because I fell in love with his art and I
Right.
love his artwork, and it just like messed me up. I will not forgive them for that. And the highest honors I wrote in caps, Stan Lee, who recently passed away last month. Stan Lee, that's it,
Very nice.
because he did Spider-Man and the Marvel
Right.
Universe. So
I
no
just
introduction needed.
have two. They're both manga. If I can open my phone here, look at my list.
Checking it twice.
Hiroaki Samura, who does Blade the Immortal. I feel like the only thing that's like keeping him from like really standing out for me, because his art is amazing, is like sometimes his fight scenes, I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. Like that's the only thing. His fight scenes can get a little blurry. And then my other one, Vinland Saga, Makoto Yukimura. Not an issue for him. His fight scenes are super clear. Everything is super clear, and honestly
And
becoming one of my favorite artists. I mean, he's getting up there. And I feel like my artist list is very subject to change, but I was kind of trying to. I feel like I've just been talking about Vinland Saga a lot recently, so I was trying to vary it. But
yeah,
I was also trying. I mean, I still couldn't not have Vagabond on there because it's just
that's
too good.
like
Yeah,
it's your bestie right
good.
there, right
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah. And I'm surprised you didn't add Berserk on your the artist did Berserk.
I mean, it is good art. I don't think
Yeah.
I like it as much as others, though. I mean, I definitely like Vagabond's art and Vinland Saga's art more. I don't know how you feel about that, but
That you like Vinland Saga
no,
and
I
Vagabond
mean,
better with it?
do you like where does it fall for you? You know, do you like Vinland Saga or Berserk art more?
Well, seeing how I only read the first volume in Vinland Saga
Vinland. There you
twice,
go.
I gotta keep on
Keep
on
reading it.
going. Yeah.
Yeah.
They got
Fair enough.
volume 2. I just holding out to read it.
Right. Well, very good. I feel like that's a good list. If you haven't
Yeah.
read anything by these artists, check them out for sure.
Or look them up on the web. I mean, there's
That's true.
a bunch of stuff on Google. Yeah. If you don't want to go out and spend like guessing $5 a comic if you go to a
that's
comic
true.
book store.
A comic store, yeah. You can
Or just borrow
read
it
it
from
on
us.
Hoopla, get it on the library. Yeah, all sorts of stuff.
If you see us out on the street, like, hey, lend us your book, we'll be like, yeah, sure. Okay.
Yeah, sure. So
Meet you by the Dairy Queen.
Next episode, we're just we're talking whatever. Whatever comes to mind. So
it's called What's Up?
Just hanging out.
There's no fancy. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you all for listening, everyone. Until next time, I'm Boy Blue.
Do not forget. I know it's been a while since we've done this, but do not forget to like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends about this amazing podcast that we got going on.
Exactly.
Don't forget to check us out on Instagram, which I've been slacking on posting what I've been reading on there lately. And I don't know if you've been posting a lot more than I do, Boy Blue.
I've posted a couple things recently.
Yeah.
Somewhat recently.
And what is it? Podbean? Check us out on Podbean and iTunes. I think iTunes, right?
Yeah. iTunes, Podbean, and YouTube.
YouTube, yeah. Instagram. Yeah. We're getting a Snapchat soon. I'm just kidding. No, we're not. That would we would never check that at all.
No, we would not. We'll tune in
All right.
for next time.
Yeah. What's up, everybody? This is Big B
Boy Blue.
and we are signing off today, tonight.